news. Fake news, no. Wouldn't that be brilliant? Let's start a new party and let's divide our vote so that you can never win. No, we're not interested in that.
6 months pogo hassle.
Oh God, he's so good. Back on the fake news shit. Once he ain't president no more. I mean, he never got off the fake news shit. Okay, so he officially announced that he's not starting a new party.
Mr. McLaughlin just gave me numbers that nobody's ever heard of before.
Oh yeah, the McLaughlin numbers are pretty damning, but it shows what we already knew. 55% saying that, like, no, they want Donald Trump. I think like Ted Cruz has like a 2%. And Tucker Carlson has 1%. That was interesting. He never said he wants to run for president, but it was just a meme. And even that meme, I mean, so was Donald Trump. So I guess we had to take memes seriously within the Republican Party, of course. So that's pretty poggers. Ron DeSantis has like 21 to 22%, but that's a little terrifying as well. Anyway, we'll look at that in a second, but before we continue on, obviously, it is top of the fucking hour every hour. It's time for a 60-second ad break, boys. The first one of the day. You no longer want to see the ads. All you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with your Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. You get one free subscription a month. And, you can use it on your favorite streamer. Hopefully, that favorite streamer happens to be me, ya boy, okay? And nobody else. Motherfucker, here is the ad break now, and I'm going to continue with the video.
Popular than anybody. That's all of us. It's all of us. Those are great numbers, and I want to thank you very much. Those are incredible numbers. I came here, and he was giving me 95%, 97%, 92%. Mr. McLaughlin just gave...
Poop.
I've always said... Well, you know what I've always said? Walls and wheels. Those are two things that will never change. Well,
I mean, the wheels thing, he's definitely wrong, but you can tell.
Disastrous first month of any month. Joe Biden has had the most disastrous first month of any president in modern history. That's true.
Okay, who gives a shit about that? Dog whistling to QAnon.
Under my administration, we stopped the child smugglers. We dismantled the criminal cartels. We greatly limited...
What I find to be hilarious with Joe Biden has had the most disastrous first month of his presidency is true. What I find hilarious is, like, I guess technically because COVID is real now because Joe Biden is president, but it was fake when Donald Trump was president. Now it's going to Republicans can turn around and be like, look at how many people died of COVID in the first month of Joe Biden's presidency. Devastating. Real devastation, real malpractice, if you will. You know what I mean? Which they are kind of doing, by the way, but I think they're doing it sarcastically. I really hoping he'd break off into another party and Republicans will self-implode. That's not going to happen. Dude, he fucking ran for president just so he could, grift a little bit and get brand lift out of it. He didn't run for president because he wanted to, like, genuinely be president. He lucked into it in that regard, okay? And not only that, but, like, now he's still going to milk the threat of becoming president as long as he can. Even if he genuinely does not, even if he's genuinely not interested in running a second time.
4 months. Poggy pog.
Like, he's not going to start a third party and, like, starting a third party and fighting against the institutional, like, established parties, fighting against the major parties is already impossible, okay? It is so difficult. A lot of times grifters get latched onto it, onto causes like that.
Content. Thank you so much for your effort.
And it's virtually impossible, and you need to be, like, either blinded by ideological loyalty to your cause, okay? And sometimes that can be good, or like, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Or just genuinely try to grift, I guess, but small time grift, because if you're the president, if you became the president and the leader of the Republican Party, then, like, trying to start a third party is so idiotic. Like, he would never do that.
Drug and human trafficking to a level that nobody actually thought was possible.
I watch while
and
I'm
the
at
wall
work,
helped us a lot.
Stuck in a box
and we
facing a
protected
screen.
vulnerable
Thanks for
people
making sure I don't go home and hurt my family.
from the ravages of dangerous predators. And that's what they are, dangerous, dangerous predators.
1 year, Pog.
Under my administration, we stopped the child.
Okay. Under my administration, we stopped the dangerous child predators. Ironic because the Trump administration was a historic low for sex trafficking convictions. By the way, like their administration and the ICE focus under Donald Trump's administration, straight the fuck up, shifted away from the more hardened criminals to straight up non-violent offenders of immigration law. People just existing on the other side of the border, despite the fact that they were born on the other side. Okay? So this is facts. You can look this up if you don't believe me. So for him to say, oh, we are, we're fucking fighting against dangerous sex traffickers and whatever, it is completely false. Absolutely false. Which is ironic because, the famous populist conspiracy theory movement that started under the Trump administration that wanted to justify all of his ridiculous actions was literally revolved around Trump, killing, in the end, killing all the psychotic deep state pedophile vampires that were working in the Democratic Party and shit. So, it did the exact opposite. You don't listen to the Smiths, poser? Yes, I do not. I don't really give a shit. I wear music. I wear band shirts all the time, but I do not care about these bands. I don't care about coming across as a poser. I don't even think that being a fan of the Smiths actually gives you any brownie points. And only people, ironically, the only people who think that it gives you fucking brownie points are lamos. So yeah, I don't know what the fuck the Smiths is. I've never listened to them. I don't know anything. The most Los Angeles shit ever. No, this is an end after that
Thanks
shirt.
6 months of education and
Edgar,
entertainment,
who
man.
is a fan of
Appreciate
mine, sends me all of his merchandise that he makes. So he sent me this shirt, and I'm wearing it right now.
Hassle.
I don't care. I really don't care. I'm sorry, guys. Their front man is staunchly vegan. Oh, nice. That's great. By that logic, MAGA hats are for non-fans? What? No, I think it's just weird that people gatekeep music where it's you can only be a fan if you wear my merchandise. It's dude, you just want to flex how your music knowledge, and it's kind of weird. Shut up. I don't care. I have friends like that. So I have a very close friend who's like that. He's a gigantic music nerd, and he yells at me all the time. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. I don't listen to music. I don't have time to listen to music. I just literally don't.
Crazy when
Stop fucking gatekeeping music, you weirdo. I don't care. And most people don't either. Because it's not cool to wear a band shirt. You know what I mean? It's not knowing the band doesn't give you brownie points, in my opinion, or maybe it does, but only to people who would care about your knowledge of music.
But who knows?
And I do not care to impress them.
BB last smoke time.
Who knows? I may even decide to beat them for a third time, okay?
A third time, implying that the second time he beat them as well, and did not absolutely get dumpstered and dumpstered by an old man who basically is a walking corpse. He has been getting a lot better though recently, as far as his health goes. Joe Biden, ironically, has been
Thank you for all the teaching you do,
looking to be in better health.
How was your day off, big guy? He says. How many election frauds are here as well?
Joe Biden defunded the border wall.
So he's running for a third term? No, he's saying he's going to run. Of course he's going to say that. He loves attention. He loves the attention. He loves being admired. And these people are fucking fans. Like, they're stans, dude. Obviously, he's going to keep this alive as long as he can, even if he has no interest in doing so, exclusively, if not for anything else, exclusively for the branding and for the stands. You know what I mean? It's his stand culture.
Black heart, black heart, black heart.
I mean, like, we joke about K-pop, but, you know, Trump stands are fucking way worse, okay? And also are old enough to know better, but don't for some weird reason. This is the Nintendo Direct for fascism? Yeah, literally. Like, this is the K-pop stanhood for fascism. This is the this is exactly that. This is Nintendo fans like absolutely losing their minds and going hoggers for you know, another Zelda skin on your Joy-Con instead of Breath of the Wild 2 Electric Boogaloo. And when Trump actually, I'm gonna make this a really fucking, I'm gonna turn this into a real gamer thing here, but and Trump, just like Nintendo, is actually hitting the high notes and not really giving you any new product. Like, this entire Trump speech so far has literally been Mario Golf, okay? It has been the Mario Golf of speeches. Oh, all of your favorite characters in numerous other characters that you can play from the Nintendo universe, but in a golfing scenario, okay? That is literally what you're getting. As a Trump stan, when you go to CPAC and you hear him say, like, you know, fake news media at the wall, Democrats, demon rats, Joe Biden is lazy and sleepy, you're literally getting the Nintendo Direct of fucking Trump speeches.
Makes sense. Tabletop blew up recently too.
Fuck you, dude. The Zelda skin is fucking sick. I can't believe you're doing this to us. I am so mad that I'm going to cancel you and soy face the whole time. Fuck you. Yeah. Mario sports games are way better than regular sports games. That's true. Actually, at least the Trump speech, gave you like the highlights, which is basically like a remaster. You know what I mean? Announcing like a remake. But at least they didn't fucking bring out the creator of Zelda and Breath of the Wild and then literally use him to say, yeah, no Zelda news, baby. Fuck off. That's actually worse. Yeah.
Yep, Hassan, you need to read my logs. I have been trying to
It's
get
like,
you to read them for months.
It's like
now.
reanimating
Yep.
Rush Limbaugh only to execute him on stage for Trump stands. So you have what, 3 new games coming to PlayStation 5? One day that $600 wireless router is going to be worth something, okay? Just you fucking wait. Fuck you guys. Not right now, not tomorrow, maybe not till the end of 2021, but one day, wait, one day, that expensive box is going to have so many fucking games, dude. Maybe 3 years from now, but it'll be so sick. Diamond hands on that PS5, yeah. We're going to the fucking moon, dude. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Thanks for always keeping me entertained.
See how no one even talks about the new Xbox? Yeah, I mean, who gives a shit?
Turkey.
I remember you being so mad about not having it. I just felt I was so down about all the things that were going on at the time that I just wanted to feel like a child again. You know what I mean? Like having a console on release day, it gave me that adrenaline rush that made me. Oh shit! It's Don's birthday today. Hey, Donato, Umberto Antonio Donato Pecorino's birthday, boys. Phil's birthday, man, over here. Yeah, by the time the PS5 is going to be worth, there is going to be a new version of the PS5 too, by the way, which will also probably sell out, which is something I also will try to purchase. Yeah, there'll be like a PS5 Slim.
GG boys.
coming to a household near you with a fucking Skyrim and Grand Theft Auto double remaster, boys. It's gonna be fucking
Love you,
sick.
chat.
PlayStation 5 Slim, with a Skyrim Grand Theft Auto 5 remaster.
4 months, boys, loving my quarantine radicalization.
By the time PlayStation 6 comes out, I will be too old to play video games. All the time, probably. Let's be real. What is this? Donnie left is driving. Watch me at times. It's
Oh, that's very
You should decompress and do some weed.
It's just the fucking yin and a yang. You know what I mean? It's like no, we're done. We're going back to the fucking Trump clips. Okay, I'm sorry. No more GTRP for the time being. I don't want the fucking politics frogs to lose their fucking minds. Okay, that they saw like a fraction of a second of gameplay, because like they're starving. They got the knives out. They are ready to fucking prison shank you. Okay.
Exclamation mark.
They've literally made shanks out of toothbrushes and ready to fucking murder every single Grand Theft Auto frog in here.
6 months on this crazy leftist train hoggers.
Think about it. Some of them literally tried to cancel me for my takes over the weekend, okay? That's what happens when you starve them of politics for too long. Fucking lose their minds. All right, let's keep going.
To Lenny, I do my own research, brother.
There isn't that many GTA frogs. Wait, what? That's wrong. I think a lot of people love Grand Theft Auto roleplay. I think a lot of people just like they just love a lot of people that like politics also likes Grand Theft Auto roleplay. Anyway, let's keep going. Trump suggested they allowed the foreign countries withholding foreign aid. All right, let's see what this is.
And I said, we're not going to pay him anymore. So after I said that, and I stopped payment, you know, like a term that we use in the world of business, let's stop payment. So we stopped payment. They were delinquent.
Question mark.
We stopped payment. And they very quickly came to the table and we made a deal, very quick deal. We still kept the money. We still didn't pay because we made a deal.
This stuff is like whatever.
The Democrat immigration.
Okay, this shit sucks. These are not good highlights at all. I'm not gonna lie. I would rather we're fucking basically watching the whole speech.
Their callous indifference to working family is equally clear when it comes to the critical matter of getting America's children back to school. And they must get back and get back right now. Right now.
Hooray.
Crazy. Terrible. Terrible. The Biden administration is actually bragging about the classroom education they are providing to migrant children on the border, while at the same time millions of American children are having their futures destroyed by Joe Biden's anti-science school closures. Think of it.
Republicans are the real pro-science party now, boys.
7 months of growth. Thank you, Abby.
Guys, Republicans are the pro-science party and Democrats are the anti-science party now. At least Democrats are like, we are going to listen to the science and then, you know, not do anything about it whenever it comes to like fracking and shit. You know what I mean? But like Republicans are like, science is fake and also gay. Science was made up. It is a part of the homosexual Marxist agenda. You know what I mean? And like,
we're educating students on the border, but our own people, the children of our citizens themselves, are not getting the education that they deserve. There's no reason whatsoever why the vast majority of young Americans should not be back in school immediately. The only reason that most parents do not have that choice is because Joe Biden sold out America's children to the teachers' unions.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, there is no... Dude, holy shit. This is a contentious issue currently that, like, teachers being able to advocate for their best interest in a field because of their unions and how much power that the unions have is literally pissing off parents. It's fucking pissing off the country. It is wild. Like, could you imagine if I don't know, grocery store clerks had the same kind of power that a lot of teachers unions have, and especially in places like Chicago and New York, and they were just like, yeah, if you don't give us hazard pay, we're just not going to fucking work. It would be sick, okay? It would be awesome. Especially because these mega corporations would have to immediately be like, all right, we can't deal with this. You know, people need to get their groceries and shit, or else they're going to die. We are going to give you the hazard pay. We're going to give you, we are going to increase workplace safety. If only they had it. Meanwhile, everyone is just, all of the people who are in, like, you know, upper management, or even other working class individuals, as a matter of fact, they're shitting on teachers unions for having the power to be able to protect themselves through this pandemic and ensure that their teachers are not getting fucking owned in the marketplace of COVID, okay? The Smiths lead singer Morrissey is leaning pretty nationalist racist now, just FYI, in case you get some backlash about it. The music they made in the 80s is still good. You should check it out. I literally do not care. I don't know who the fuck this person is. I don't listen to music. Anyone who thinks I not only listen to the Smiths, but also on top of that would know about, like, whoever the fucking main person's politics is delusional, okay? Sorry. Let's keep going.
His position is morally inexcusable. You know that. Joe Biden has shamefully betrayed America's youth, and he is cruelly keeping our children locked in their homes. No reason for it whatsoever. They want to get out. They're cheating the next generations of Americans out of the future that they deserve, and they do deserve this future. They're going to grow up, and they're going to have a scar. It's a scandal of the highest order and one of the most craven acts by any president.
Because of low barriers for entry for store clerks, wouldn't the employers just fire everyone and hire more low qualified staff? Well, that's why they would have to have bargain agreements. Like, that's why they have to have collective bargaining agreements, so that they ensure that regardless of whether or not this is a low-skill labor position, that every single person has to at least be a labor union member in order to get hired, therefore making it so that you can't have fucking scabs. That's how unions work, guys. And that's why they're good, by the way. Like, low skill doesn't mean, low skill doesn't mean it's not necessary labor. I mean, we've literally talked about this. Like, I thought we were all banging our fucking pots and pans, talking about how important it is that, you know, we celebrate our essential workers. You know what I mean? What happened? Low skill. Okay, well, without them, you would have fucking died. Okay. It's not the amount of training that you need to do a job appropriately that matters, in my opinion. It does matter to a degree, but what matters is how much value you are adding. Okay? How much value you're adding, how much of that labor value that you are adding turns into profits that don't go back to you, but go back instead to the shareholders. Also, more often than not, a lot of the low-skill labor jobs are unfulfilling and therefore harder, okay? They're menial, they're back-breaking work, and what is more significant in this circumstance, and in every circumstance when we're talking about labor, is literally the amount of value that you are adding rather than how easy it is that you can be replaced.
Offline is white people happy, right pointing finger, 3 happy 8 months chat.
Also, the hilarity of the conversation we're having here is that, like, we're having a conversation about teachers unions right now, but, like, the real reason why kids can't go back to school, okay? The real reason why kids can't go back to school is because who the fuck was the president? Like, the last president kind of fucked this whole COVID thing up, huh? It feels like the last president, whoever he was, I don't know. I wasn't really awake during that time, but kind of fucked the entire COVID thing up to a degree where, like, it literally spread uncontrollably. It was one of the worst places in the Western world or in the entire planet per capita. for per capita COVID deaths and all that. So yeah, it was just I think they like really let it escalate, which is the opposite of what you're supposed to do in a pandemic. That's what epidemiologists are trying to stop. You know, was it Obama or was it Hillary? Maybe it was Hillary Clinton. Hillary.
In our lifetimes,
15 months. Love you, bro. Hassle.
And it shouldn't happen. And nobody has more respect for teachers than I do. And I'll bet you a lot of the people within that union, they agree with everything I'm saying. Even the New York Times
Thank you for these
is calling
informative
out
6
the
months.
Democrats.
Love you, Hassan.
The mental and physical health of these young people is reaching a breaking point. Tragically, suicide attempts have skyrocketed, and student depression is now
clean boys rule this city,
and at levels that we've never seen before. The Democrats now say we have to pass their $1.9 trillion boondoggle to open schools, but a very small part of it has to do with that.
I love you 6 months strong. Please get some Nintendo in soon for us
badly run
Nintendo
Democrat
frogs.
cities, so much of it. But billions of dollars for schools remain unspent from the COVID relief bills that were passed last year. So on behalf of the moms, dads, and children of America, I call on Joe Biden to get the schools open and get them open now. It'd be a great thing to do.
Just remember that, like, Joe Biden, when he was running for president against Donald Trump, wasn't even being this aggressive towards Donald Trump as Donald Trump is post-presidency at CPAC against Joe Biden. Like, people would ask him, like, do you blame Donald Trump for COVID? And Joe Biden would refuse to be like, yes, he fucked up. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Like, he every now and then when he was, like, pushed to a fucking corner, he would release a statement about it. But Donald Trump is not stopping. Republicans are not going to stop. It doesn't matter if they're in a position of power. It doesn't matter if they're post-tenure. They will always shit on the Democrats in every opportunity. Okay?
Nice.
This is what I always say when I say Democrats should be a little bit more like Republicans. Not from the point of view of like their ideology, which they are unfortunately too close to Republicans on, but tactics. Okay? They should be more aggressive. They should call out their enemies a little bit more because Republicans never play with kitty gloves. They are always on the offensive. Do a little bit more partisanship, even if you don't want to do it because you want to. I just like, there's no reason not to be more partisan and more aggressive towards the Republicans and call them out all the fucking time. It's just very, 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 is very triggering, very annoying. Watching Democrats refuse to call out Republicans. It's changing. That culture is changing within the party. Okay. And younger liberals and freshman Democrats, regardless of whether they are centrists or not, have been doing a better job of like attacking Republicans. I'm not just talking about progressives. I'm talking about like even Pete Buttigieg did a better job of like attacking Republicans and like correctly calling out Republicans when it mattered. So maybe that will change. Maybe that attitude shift will change. So that will be great eventually. Because ultimately it will lead to more Democratic victories down the line. And ultimately that will lead to inevitably at least some kind of fucking progressive policies being implemented, whether it's on accident or whether it gets snuck into a fucking larger omnibus or something like that, or whether it is a main proposal that they have. Even though, and I hate to be defeatist here, we saw what happened when push came to shove and we got to the final... We got to the final stage, okay, of the $15 minimum wage conversation. On the $15 minimum wage, and they dropped it. Sorry, I just got a message. Like, that's insane. Out of nowhere. I apologize. Like a crazy, crazy thing. Holy shit. Hold on. Anyway, let's keep going.
How to work without sacrificing profit.
When I left office,
thanks for helping make this shit past
and we're
year
very
a lot
proud
better.
of this because this was something that they said could not be done. The FDA said it. Everybody said it. Any article you read said it. Couldn't be done. It would be years and years. I handed the new administration what everyone is now calling a modern-day medical miracle. Some say it's the greatest thing to happen in hundreds of years, 2 vaccines produced in record time with numerous others on the way, including the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that was approved just yesterday.
Yeah.
And therapeutic relief also. If you're sick, we have things now that are incredible. What has taken place over the last year under our administration.
Yo.
It would have taken any other president at least 5 years, and we got it done in 9 months. Everyone says 5 years, so 5 years.
Pogo.
Can you imagine if you had to go through what all of the countries of the world who are now getting the vaccine or soon will be getting it from various companies, but can you imagine if all of those countries had to go through what they've been going through over the last year? You'd lose hundreds of millions of people. I pushed the FDA like they have never been pushed before. They told me that loud and clear. They have never been pushed like I pushed them. I didn't like them at all. But once we got it done, I said, I now love you very much. What the Trump administration has done with vaccines has, in many respects, perhaps saved large portions of the world, not only our country, but large portions of the world.
Let's gender neutralize the word women.
Not only did we push the FDA far beyond what the bureaucrats wanted to do, we also put up billions and billions of dollars, 10 billion, to produce the vaccines before we knew they were going to work. It was called a calculated bet or a calculated risk. We took a risk because if we didn't do that, you still wouldn't have the vaccines. You wouldn't have them for a long time.
Pogo, thank you for introducing me to the Clan Boys, Pogo.
Because we thought we were on a certain track. But you'd be starting to make them right now. It'd be a long time before you ever saw them. It takes 60 to 100 days to manufacture and inspect new doses.
Then you find out it wasn't his.
And that means that 100%.
Now I ain't saying she a gold digger.
Nothing proves that, like, Republicans just want to hear Trump's voice, his incredible voice inside of their ear holes without paying attention to what he's actually saying, then clapping for vaccines, okay? Those motherfuckers are like anti-vaxxers. Like, half that room is an anti-vaxxer. And they're getting excited about, like, a rushed vaccination process while simultaneously holding on to the belief that, like, vaccinations give you the autism and it's the Bill and Melinda Gates. It's the Bill and Melinda Gates vaccine that has a microchip. You know what I mean? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President, for the vaccine that I'm not going to be taking because it gives you autism. For a disease that's also fake, and you know, it's not real, made by libtards. Sick.
Of the increased availability that we have now was initiated by our administration, 100%. In fact, the director of National Institutes of Health, Francis Collins, he's Fauci's boss, actually. I think he's a Democrat, too, by the way, recently said that our Operation Warp Speed was absolutely breathtaking.
Like, someone should ask the question to everyone in that room, like, okay, you guys just clap for this vaccine. Why do you think the vaccine is out there? For a pandemic? Okay, so then why aren't you wearing a fucking mask? Like, if there's a real pandemic and you're excited for a vaccine for that pandemic, then why the fuck aren't you doing the other important things that you need to do in order to mitigate some of the damage? Like, how do you fucking celebrate a vaccine for a pandemic that you have declared to be fake?
And that the Trump administration deserves full credit, which we do. And as conservatives and Republicans, never forget that we did it. Never let them take the credit because they don't deserve the credit. They just followed now. They're following our plan, but this has been something that they call it an absolute miracle. Joe Biden is only implementing the plan that we put in.
It is funny. I can't get over this. It's funny because they literally booed the event organizers for asking people to wear masks and saying, you know, we're in their house right now, and in their house, we have to follow their rules and not be rude and wear masks. And they were like, boo, shut the fuck up, get off the stage. I'm 75 and I want to fucking die.
In place, and if we had an honest media, which we don't, they would say it loud and clear. By the time I left that magnificent house at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, almost 20 million Americans had already been vaccinated. 1.5 million doses were administered on my final day alone. 1.5 million in a day. Yet Biden said just a few days ago that when he got here, meaning the White House, there was no vaccine. He said, there's no vaccine? Oh, good. Say it again, Joe. Now, I don't think he said that, frankly, in a malicious way. I really don't. I actually believe he said that because he didn't really know what the hell was happening. But
again, ironic considering the fact that, like, that old corpse absolutely destroyed you. Like, you were so disliked. You were so intensely disliked. Yeah, by the way, people celebrating the COVID vaccine. Guys, holy shit. Not a single fucking... Yo, motherfuckers have their CPAP machines on, like, to stay awake during Trump's speech, and they don't have masks on, dude. Not a single mask, dude. I brought my CPAP to CPAC.
never let them forget this was us. We did this, and the distribution is moving along according to our plan, and it's moving along really well. We had the military, what they've done, our generals, and all of the people, what they've done is incredible. But remember, you know, we took care of a lot of people, including, I guess, on December.
Do you ever address facts? Yes. Instead of addressing facts, I lie, like saying that this was an entire room full of mask wearers celebrating the COVID vaccine, and not a bunch of old fucks who weren't clearly wearing masks celebrating the COVID vaccine, implying that it's a pandemic that they consider to be fake to begin with.
Shot. And it's good that he got his shot.
Hey, wow, 2BR, O2BKV with a 20 gifted subs. My man is back. He's been gone for a while. Thank you for the gifted subs, my friend.
Last year, I predicted to you that the extremism, corruption, and incompetence of the Biden administration would be literally unprecedented in American history. Unfortunately, he has proven me 100% right. Already, as president, Biden has urged Congress to pass legislation shredding your Second Amendment. Your Second Amendment is in far bigger trouble than you know. And for 4 years, I fought like hell.
The irony is, like, the Democrats have not even talked for... There's two issues that the Democrats have not talked about at all, okay? Two issues. Gun rights or gun control and the public option. These are two things that the National Democratic Party has completely avoided even opening their mouths on. Okay? So, again, playing the fucking highlights and talking about things that he knows the hogs want to hear, they're so good. They're so good at this. Like, it doesn't matter what the Democrats do. They're already, like, setting up a universe in which the Democrats are coming to get your guns. It's like, the fuck are you talking about, dude?
To save your Second Amendment, and we saved it 100%.
I love like a bunch of 75-year-old used car dealers that flew in from like Kentucky and shit being worried about their Second Amendment rights being taken away from them. Like, what are you doing? Like, the fucking kickback on a AR-15, which is really low in recoil, really low in comparison to most other guns, is still gonna fucking kill you. And you're over here talking about like, oh, thank God my Second Amendment rights are safe. Like, what are you talking about? A light breeze is gonna fucking knock you over and you're gonna die, or at least have to pay like $100,000 for ass bone surgery because your butt bone broke. Okay. And you're over here like, yeah, don't take my guns away. Bitch, you can't fucking shoot guns at this point.
We saved it. He signed an order to conduct politically correct far-left indoctrination trainings in every department of the federal government, including the U.S. military, after I had terminated these horrible things that were being preached to our military. And he wants it to go forward. It's insane. Within his first few hours, Biden eliminated our national security travel bans on nations plagued by terrorism. His first priority was to open our borders to unvetted travelers from Libya, Yemen, Syria, Somalia, and many other countries where strict vetting cannot occur. Countries that have tremendous problems, countries with tremendous terrorism problems. We did a travel ban. It was a real achievement. We told those countries, sorry, straighten out your act. We don't want people coming in where they had an ideology or a problem. We just couldn't have it. And it was incredible. How it worked was incredible. And he terminated it. We had to get it approved. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court of the United States. We got it approved, and he terminates it. In addition, he's already increased refugee admissions by nearly 10 times, but in effect, it'll soon be hundreds of times as millions of people flow up through our soon-to-be open borders. And by the way, the Border Patrol and ICE, these are some of the great heroes of our country. These are incredible people. I got to know them very well. Your family still cannot go out to eat at local restaurants, but Joe Biden is bringing in thousands upon thousands of refugees from all over the world, people that nobody knows anything about. We don't have crime records. We don't have health records. What are they bringing in with them? When I left office, we had virtually ended the endless wars. These endless wars.
Yeah, he was such a peaceful dove, dude. It's just like, when I think about the Trump administration, I think about how peaceful he was. I love that in the same breath, he's like, Libyans are murderers. We shouldn't open our borders to the Libyans. He's like, I'm the peaceful dove. I ended the endless wars. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? You literally just said an entire country is a threat if their citizens are allowed inside of our borders. You also fucking quintupled the Obama era drone striking. You literally fucking erased the record-keeping procedure for civilian casualties within the drone strikes that was implemented in the Obama era, which was already like a conservative estimate to begin with. You did the exact same shit that Joe Biden is doing right now. Okay? You did the exact same shit that Joe Biden is doing. Liberals who defend Joe Biden right now for the Soleimani dealings are totally fucking hypocritical, especially if they like cried when Donald Trump was defending MBS and saying, I don't care who else is going to buy $10 billion of weapons. He assassinated a foreign fucking leader and with one of the most insane fucking acts of war that I've seen beyond like the sanctions and shit. Okay. I just don't understand. I don't understand how the fuck he can run on this.
They go on forever. They go on forever. I would go to Dover and I would see caskets, coffins coming in. I'd see the parents and the wives and the husbands. I would see the kids. Endless wars, 19 years in Afghanistan. We have it down to almost nothing left, and I hear they might want to go back in. Iraq. Remember, I used to say, don't go in, but if you're going to go in, keep the oil. Well, we went in and we didn't keep the oil. We had made historic peace deals in the Middle East like nobody thought were even possible? With not a drop of bloodshed.
Dude, giving a standing ovation to this is fucking remarkable. It's just like, dude, we are the worst country. Holy shit. We are literally the bad guys.
And by the way, not one American soldier has been killed in Afghanistan in over a year. Think of that. Not one. Those troops have largely come home. At the same time, the new administration unilaterally withdrew our crippling sanctions on Iran, foolishly giving away all of America's leverage before negotiations have even begun. Leave the sanctions, negotiate. Does anybody understand what I'm saying here? Are there any good business people? You don't have to be a good. Are there any bad business people? They took off the sanctions. They took off the sanctions. They said, well, we're going to not have any sanctions. Let's negotiate a deal. I don't know, Matt Schlapp. I don't think you would have done that. Do you think so, Matt? I don't think so. Mercedes wouldn't have. No, you do that. You make a deal, and then you do it. They wanted. I will tell you something, and I said it. Had we had a fair election, the results would have been much different, and we would have had a deal. We would have had a deal.
You know, like an election where Democrats were held at gunpoint if they wanted to vote, especially black ones, believe me. A fair and free election where, you know, for every Democratic vote, a Democrat goes to jail.
With Iran within the first week. They wanted those sanctions off. He took them off for nothing. For nothing. Now you watch how tough they negotiate. In another horrendous surrender, he agreed to get.
You know what's funny? He's saying the Biden administration is reintroducing wars, okay? And like, you know, bombing Syria was bad or whatever. And I think that's like a consistent take from, or that's something that you've heard from Donald Trump Jr., right? And the hilarity is, like, the Biden administration is literally escalating tensions with Iran right now. This is exactly like when Obama did a really, in my opinion, a piss poor job of dealing with immigration and totally caving to the interests of Republicans and the more reactionary interests from American political infrastructure, and greatly expanded on the harm done to immigrants in this country, while all the Republicans were like, he's letting all the rapists come into the country. He's letting all the rapists come into the country. Like, Obama literally fucking deported more people than Trump did. Okay? He did. In his first 4 years, Obama deported more people than Donald Trump did. That's facts. Okay? Then they used the facilities that Obama, or the implementation of Obama's, like, not child separation policies, but Obama's policies for the increase in and dealing with the increase in, like, child migrants and child migrants that did not have adults accompanying them, and their facilities that he started storing them in, literally. We were using military bases in Oklahoma and shit. He used that as an opportunity to say, well, Obama did it and it was all right. So Democrats cave to the demands of the Republicans, okay? Cave to the reactionary elements within American politics, and then get shit on for it by the other Republicans that then increase exactly what they did, then expand upon that cruelty while simultaneously shitting on them and saying, well, they did it. They did it and it was all right. So stop. What are you doing? Stop. Don't be a fucking idiot. Okay? Donald Trump saying Joe Biden is caving to Iran is so psychopathic, because the Biden administration is literally increasing tensions with Iran, and his drone strikes, or his strikes in Syria, was literally an escalation of conflict at a time when we should be scaling back dramatically, maybe even pulling out entirely from the rest of the fucking world and focusing on ourselves, okay? You know, do some self-care, America. You know, maybe eat some chips, go back to the fucking gym, you know, be your best damn self. Do some self-care, right? Instead of doing all that, we are escalating tensions with Iran at a time when we need to renegotiate the denuclearization agreement, which was good, which was Obama's signature foreign policy accomplishment, if you ask me, right? It was a good thing. Instead of trying to get back to the negotiations and promising to Iran that we are not going to have like some fucking psychopath freak come in and ruin it ever again, right? Instead of doing all that, we are escalating tensions with Iran by bombing Syria. Trump, on the one hand, is shitting on the bombing of Syria and Iranian-backed rebels in Syria, while also maintaining the position that Biden is, too soft on Iran.
Get back into the World Health Organization for approximately $500 million a year, which is what we were paying. When I withdrew from the WHO, and you know the whole story with that, they called it badly. They really are puppets for China. They called and they wanted us to stay in. I said, how much are we paying? Approximately $500 million. How much is China paying? A much larger in terms of population country. Sir, they're paying $39 million. I said, why are we paying $500 million and they're paying $39? I could tell you why, because the people that made the deal are stupid, that's why. So, and I had no idea how popular it was. I didn't even know if I would be able to politically, because people were so happy when I did get out. But I said, so if we went in, we could get it for $39 million, which is what China, not $500 million, which is what we were stupidly paying. And they said, we can make a deal. We want you to go in. We can make a deal. Okay, and I decided not to do it. But we could have had it for 39. We could have had it for the same as China. And they decide now to go back into the World Health Organization and pay $500 million. What the hell is wrong with them? No, this is just emblematic. It's a tremendous amount of money, but compared to trillions, it's not, but it's a tremendous amount of money. Why would China pay $39 million and we're paying almost $500 million? Why? So we could have made the same deal that China had, $39 million, and they just say, we're going back in. We're going back into the World Health Organization. They go back in, they pay $500. It is so sad. Just like the Iran and the World Health Organization, Joe Biden put the United States back into the very unfair and very costly Paris Climate Accord without negotiating a better deal. They wanted us so badly back in. I'll tell you, they wanted us. I was getting called from all of the countries. You must come back into the Paris Accord. I said, tell me why. Give me one good reason. First of all, China doesn't kick in for 10 years. Russia goes by an old standard, which was not a clean standard, and other countries. But we get hit right from the beginning. It would have cost us hundreds of thousands and millions of jobs. It was a disaster. But they go back in. I could have made an unbelievable deal and gone back in, but I didn't want to do that. Surrendering millions of jobs and trillions of dollars to all of these other countries, almost all of them, that were in the deal. So they have favorable treatment. We don't have favorable treatment. And we just said, we're going back in. To go back in, they wanted us so badly. You could have negotiated. If you wanted to go back in, which frankly, we have the cleanest air, the cleanest water, and everything else that we've ever had. So I don't know why we have to.
Boys. I'm afraid I need to interrupt this regular programming, this fucking broadcast, to deliver some news to you right now. From over the pond, across the other side of the fucking pond, bruv. Following a 2-week stay at King Edward's Hospital in London, the Duke of Edinburgh was transferred to St. Bartholomew's Hospital on Monday for further treatment of an infection. Buckingham Palace has said Prince Philip is expected to stay in the hospital until at least the end of the week, while Buckingham Palace has also said that the Duke is responding to treatment and remains comfortable. Of course, Prince Philip is most notable for looking like a walking corpse, and I would like to premeditatively press F for respects for the fucking dead prince, bruv. The Duke of Edinburgh is most likely fucking dead, bruv. This person is a fucking vampire. News in it. I'd like to say Prince Prince Philip, you have a license for that murder, bruv. You have a fucking license for that. I don't even know what I'm saying. Whenever he gets riled up, he sounds like Professor Farnsworth in The Simpsons. You got a license for that life, bruv. Oi, bruv, in it. This is what happens when Jeffrey Epstein, a friend of the royal family, is taken out in a horrific suicide accident, and no longer can the royals get their fresh tapping of adrenochrome or baby spinal fluid, as you know, which is absolute necessity for the princes and the royal family, among others in it. Yes, the suicide accident that Jeffrey Epstein was engaged in. That was Andrew, not Philip. Oh, I'm sorry. I know the distinction between Andrew and Philip. I'm simply stating that all members of the royal family are engaging in the satanic rituals together, and that is the way that they stay alive. I know that Andrew was a close friend to Jeffrey Epstein for more than just the adrenochrome, but I would suspect that Prince Philip was also taking advantage of the adrenochrome, if you know what I mean. During a state visit to China in 1986, in a private conversation with British students from Xi'an's Northwest University, Philip joked, "If you stay here for much longer, you'll go slit-eyed." Pog. Oh, he's very funny, very humorous chap. Is Philip the Nazi one? I mean, aren't they like literally fucking related? They're like German, aren't they? Of German descent, and were rather close to the Nazis in World War II. When they were alive, and the Nazi party was very alive as well. Yes. German equals Nazi, that's not what I'm saying. No. There's a difference. There's a difference between just being German and assuming that someone's a Nazi, and also having close ties to the Nazis in positions of power as a part of the royal family. They are mixed with almost every year. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of the centuries of inbreeding going on there. Centuries and centuries of systemic inbreeding on purpose, of course. He had connections to the German royalty by birth. Yeah, I know. I thought that what happened is like they would replace him, right? They would literally replace him if they had no like male heirs or whatever, and they wanted to continue the royal lineage. They would just do a switcheroo and bring in the German royal family and say, "Hey, this is now the royal family of England." I think, right? I thought that's like kind of how it happened. They all like fuck one another. And very, very pure, untainted lineage, untainted bloodlines, very pure and very good. Which means, of course, cousin fucking. And sometimes sister fucking. But, you know, we look down upon that when they do it in Alabama, but we think it's very cool and very good when they do it in the royal family. The Queen and Philip are literally second and third cousins at the same time. Very good. His family were German princes, but they ruled Greece when he was young. It was so untainted, they had to bring Diana in to water it all down. Look how she ended up. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Why do you hate the UK, mate? I love the UK. Are you kidding me? It's one of the funniest. It's one of the funniest countries and one of the funniest cultures. Don't make me... Dude, I will literally stop the Trump thing and go on like a 45-minute analysis on like why everything is funny in the UK. Do not get me started. I mean, there's that video that's circulating the internet right now. The video of the curry and chips circulating the internet at the moment. It's one of the most horrific war crimes I've ever seen, bruv. but it also seems like it could be delicious. They've got kebabs and some sort of chicken on top of the chips and curry